to full sense. But Buzz, I mean, not only does he continue to be an explosive entry player, but his operator usage, so confident, I mean, greedy up to a point, but still getting those kills. Meanwhile, Zekin, I mean, Sentinels not really relying on that operator too much, actually, much more relying on overall their trades and their team movement than just that one rifle, sniper rifle, sitting on one side of the map.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see what I would more normally consider DRX's style being played by Sentinels, and then, you know, DRX trying out this more operator-heavy style, and I think to good success, and it's clear Buzz has been working on that. You know, it's just so funny, though, that I love that we're showing this graphic, because, like, we were talking about this, and I'm like, there's been so many overtimes for both of these teams. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But apparently Sentinels actually has more overtimes throughout their history than DRX, which surprised me a little bit.
Which is crazy to think about, because obviously for us, we follow DRX through and through here in Korea. They have a lot, and definitely more than they should, right, given their overall reputation. But you take a look, and Sentinels overall, they're always winning if it does go that far, right? So I think, you know, something at least that we can gather from this is, okay, when it comes to mental endurance, both of these teams, they've been through the grind, right? They've been all the way to the very end of any map. Obviously, the highest record for both teams going all the way to 36 rounds, as you can see at the very top. And I, you know, personally, I think this is probably a graphic that our production crew was also very concerned about watching this. I mean, this is just foreshadowing that it's probably going to be a long day today.
Feels like it. And, you know, we'll see. Who knows? I'm kind of curious if Sentinels can really just kind of grab hold of this one here today, Will, because they looked really solid to me. And against a Paper X team that I thought should be pretty strong coming into it, I have no idea what to expect today. You know, that was the most DRX match I've ever seen in terms of, like, they fall apart early and then they just kind of figure it out and then, you know, take things over and win the match. How many times have we seen that in the history of Pacific? A lot.
Yeah, I mean, generally, almost every match, actually. Kind of weirdly enough, you always think they should just be stomping away. But I like that you brought up that point of the play styles that we've seen, at least in the opening matches from both teams. Sen definitely playing much more of a team coordination style, right? Always, you know, not exactly like full 5-on executes, but still those kind of mini games that they're playing with. Okay, let's go with the fault line. I have this set up. And sometimes at the time it doesn't work out. Yeah, you know, it doesn't lead to victory. But they're relying much more heavily on that, whereas DRX, sometimes their comms still seem to be a little bit in shambles.
Yeah, I agree. I think it for whatever reason, sometimes it just takes some time to wake up. Yeah. So for our predictions here, you're all right. I don't blame you at all here.
Sentinels, I'm all on board.
I get it. I almost went Sentinels on day one, regretted it. And now I'm going to maybe regret it again.
I mean, listen, first of all, the vibes from Zelsis, obviously, we can hear them all the way up here above the stage. Everyone in the crowd can hear them. But I think a lot of people now really starting to give that value over of the intangible factor that some of these players can bring and just keeping the overall tone and the energy going for a team.
I totally agree. They looked like they were having a lot of fun up there. And that really does matter for these teams. I mean, you think about Paper Rex, like why they've been able to have so much success over the years. It's because the vibes are always pretty darn good. They're having a good time. Even exactly. When they're losing, they're having a good time. The whimsy is there. No doubt about it. So I'm curious about that for Sentinels, man. I think they're looking like they're having fun.
Yeah, in some ways, that's probably where they contrast a lot as well, right? DRX, they kind of get in their own heads sometimes, so we'll have to see. DRX playing in front of the home crowd once again today as they go up against the monsters coming over from the Americas. It's going to be Sentinels versus DRX for the winners match of Group A here at the AVL.
Ready and willing to do what we gotta do. You cannot stop. Put in the time, we're doing my grind, I'm like the top.
일단 생각보다 풀센스가 좋은 플레이를 많이 보여줘서 저희도 많이 당황했었고, 그에 반해 저희가 실수들도 많았고 조금 아쉬운 플레이들도 많았어가지고 다음 경기에서는 저희가 좀 더 견고한 모습으로 돌아와서 잘 보여줘야 되지 않을까 싶습니다.
I played DRX back in Lock-In myself, not with Sentinels. They're a really good team. They've always been like a top 3 team always.
쉽지 않은 경기가 되지 않을까라는 생각이 들어요. 열심히 하도록 하겠습니다.
Okay. ก็รู้สึกว่าเราทำได้ดีนะครับแบบว่าเกินคาดที่พวกเราคิดไว้เยอะเลย ก็ถ้าไม่มีอะไรผิดพลาดก็เราน่าจะดีขึ้นไปเรื่อยๆมีโอกาสครับเพราะว่าเราก็เคยเจอกันมาหลายครั้งซ้อมด้วยหลายครั้งแล้ว รู้สึกว่าไม่ได้ยากเกินฝีมือที่เรามี
I mean, I don't know that much, but little bit. I think Sushi Boys is really good at the Sentinels roles. Taking them in full sense, I think is a really good option, I think. We will send you guys home faster.
มันสนุกแน่
Continuing Group A here at the AVL 2023. We are only a couple hours away from crowning our first team to move on to the semifinals. And up to bat with the flowers on top, it's going to be Sentinels coming over from Americas.
Yeah, really excited to see these guys perform here again. Looking so good, and now coming in with the flower bonnets as well. No idea what's up with that, but sure, why not? And I just love Tenz's response there.
I mean, Zell sewed it up. You know what? I'm fine. This team has cleared the vibe check of Pacific. They've risen above Paper Rex, and now they look to face the next best team that Pacific has to offer. It's going to be the long-standing Kings of Korea, but no longer the Kings of Asia. It is DRX.
If there is a team that can ruin your vibe check, it is definitely these guys. Like, even if they drop the first map time and time again, they somehow run it back on you and win the next couple. So, and with it being RB's birthday today, maybe the little birthday buff action coming in, we'll have to see. But I mean, I always like to see this core 5 play. I'm a really big fan of Zest. I think he had some really impactful moments, not just with his fragging, but as always, his utility is so good. He's so clean with his timing.
Yeah, Kaplan and Termi, the coaches of both teams. Not a shot we thought we'd get to see here in Korea, but a beautiful one indeed. Both teams looking to give it their all, trying to make it deeper into the tournament. Guarantee that they'll be playing over the weekend. Of course, we have to remember it's still the weekdays here in Korea, right? The majority of fans are waiting for that weekend. They're hoping that their favorite teams will be on stage playing those best of threes.
There's a lot of Sentinels fans here. I can tell you for
Huge.
sure. Huge amount of Sentinels fans here, even though it's like you said, it's like middle of the afternoon here in Korea. Everybody's at work or something, but quite a few fans made the trip out here today. Either took the day off or maybe played hooky from
or bailed.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not judging. That's on you, but this should be really fun with the power level of both of these teams clearly being, I think, pretty equal right now.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, you have to raise Sentinel's hand just a bit because they've already, I think, proven enough for the offseason, right? They've proven that they're grinding away, that they are improving, that they're looking towards a vision. Whereas DRX, I mean, Buzz talked about it in that opening. They had some disappointing plays, and in front of this home crowd that is so used to watching this core 5 just dominate here in the Sangam Coliseum in Seoul, South Korea, they have a lot to lose if they cannot get that victory today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think there's a ton of pressure on them, even though it is just, maybe not the biggest a deal to them in some ways, but you want to beat this team. You want to show that coming into 2024, you're still the team to beat in this region. You are still the guys, and certainly on your home turf, on your home ground, you'd love to send Sentinels, not packing necessarily just yet, they wouldn't be out of it, but at least, send yourself into the next level of this event for sure and kind of avoid having to play another match later today.
Of course, yeah, I love that you brought that up. Today we have 3 matches. That means the loser of this match is going to be awaiting match 3 for the decider of Group A. So it's going to be a grueling day. If you win, you get to go home, rest, maybe even, take a little tour around the city of your Sentinels, enjoy the vibes a little bit longer, get prepped for the weekend matches. But if you lose, you're right back into the waiting room, grinding away, just making sure you're warmed up for that decider match. You're going to look at Stacks, of course, the long-standing captain here of DRX. I still remember when, he first had to take on that mantle. Just so much pressure for him, but he's really grown into those shoes.
Yeah, he's getting better as time goes on, and, he is, I'd say, a volatile player in some ways. Like, we know
that's a good word.
what he's capable of individually, right? But as an IGL, he definitely takes a lot of pressure and a lot of that emotion onto himself, and he gets really passionate, in sometimes good ways, maybe sometimes bad ways, but he's very passionate about, communicating with his team, making sure everyone's doing the right things at the right times, and he will absolutely let you know it if he thinks you're not doing what he expects of you.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some fans in the crowd cheering for DRX, a 2-0. Listen, I mean, I don't know if that's in the books. Whoever wins, I think this is going the full mile for sure.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. I have a hard time seeing this being a 2-0, unless it's like 2 overtimes. Then maybe.
That could be. And we do have to note, I mean, DRX, of course, in that match against Full Sense played very well. And DRX, we hadn't seen them use his core 5 during those other off-season tournaments that they traveled to. This is the first time we're seeing it back together. While we prep for 2024, maybe they had to shake off some rust. And, they got through it in that best of 3. And the idea here, or the hope at least for DRX fans, is that, okay, they're back in form. They found their groove. Nothing's changed. They're going to move on forward.
Yeah, and I think, if you looked at some of the previous events that DRX has played in this offseason, with Flashback in particular, I would say you've got hope here that this Core 5 should be what you are considering for 2024 as the main roster, but there's a lot of prospects for the future that are looking really strong, I think. I was really impressed with the way that he was playing previously, but regardless, that's not the team that's here now. Matt Banzer pick, well, we know, Will, we're not playing Sunset. We know that.
Unfortunately.
Yes, I agree.
Unfortunately. We were talking about this before the show started. I just hope DRX at some point realizes that showing the new map once isn't going to really ruin your entire game plan for the year, but they continue to ban it out, and Sentinels, they are going for the bind pick. We got to watch DRX play it against Full Sense, just rattling through these. DRX taking us to split again. I mean, DRX has changed colors quite a bit in the past several years. Now they start to favor split a little bit. And then, if it goes the full length, we will be going to Breeze.
Well, I think what's cool for me is that I think DRX has started to realize that some of the maps that maybe used to not like to play, like Split and Bind, are actually maps they're pretty good at. So they're kind of like being like, oh, we should actually, let these through in the rotations. We should maybe play these a little bit more. Split is a map that I always thought they were very strong on, even though they kind of shied away from it. They have shown that they're really tenacious on it. Mako in particular has always really impressed me on Split as that clutch guy who can come through with some massive plays. But their bind looked really stable. We didn't get to see the Yoru bind that we got to see at Champions. But it was it was the more meta bind, and it looked really, really clean.
But I would love to see the Yoru matchup here, right? The TEDS Yoru, we've seen it time and time again during the offseason. It does continue here in Seoul, South Korea. And DRX, they're going to continue to stick with the Brimstone Viper, just one entry in the race. So really the difference here is that Cypher for a little bit extra defense, a little bit more info, and a little bit more passive info, whereas you've got TEDS on that Yoru being active on the field.
I love this. I love watching Yoru. Just such an interesting agent to see how teams are trying to make it happen, and surely this will make the Sentinels fans very, very happy. Don't even need the Hopium at this point. Now you've just got TEDS on Yoru. That's good enough for me.
I mean, it's always a treat. Even back in the day, even without this composition, without this roster, any glimpses we got of it, mechanically, obviously a very gifted player, but they really started to showcase that they have some good ideas behind this composition, right? It's not a single duelist. You still have to raise for those explosive entries, but the Yoru can really help navigate the map and take a little bit larger portions of control around Bind.
Exactly. It's sort of like adding a third teleporter to the map itself when you have Yoru here, right? Like, you give yourself another added layer of flexibility on this map that already has some, another layer of obfuscation in terms of where is he not? Those kind of things come into play, and the Flash is really strong as well.
Yeah, again, we'll have to wait and see if we have any new tech coming out from Sentinels, but it is going to be map 1 in this best of 3 between Sentinels and DRX to decide who will be moving on to the semifinals of the AVL.
All right, I had to let that one through.
Yeah. The DRX, of course, they always bring in their cheer squad. You love to see it, a long-standing Korean tradition. Take a quick look at some of those stats so far here at the AVL for both teams. But DRX will be starting on defense here against Sentinels.
Yeah, so really my eyes start to drift towards RB on that Cypher initially, as he is going to be the solo player on the A site with the cam and the trap wire. Then the other 4 players have Zest trying to control Hookah. A 3-man push out of long B. Slowly but surely, and Saucy's watching for it.
Yeah, I mean, very telling, but Saucy will get hit by that flash, so he's just going to have to back up. But this tells you, okay, that's a hard push out of B. We've got to start entering into A. That's where it's going to be weak here for DRX. RB just looking for information here. They haven't spotted it. The cam just yet. Finally taken out.
All right, let's see. They're going to clear that trap wire. Oh, no, RB's going to get him. Zealous is through the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's got him through the smoke and the box right there as well, of course. That will give you that tag. Saucy now watching for the back. He knew, but there were just way too many people above and below. Second, this paint shells has to find so much value just in terms of time. Setting things up for John QT to get a different angle. John QT, he's going to get 1 kill. Able to hold the double angle now, pushing up close. The mind game's in play.
Let's see if they can hold this down. Oh, 10.
Yeah, with a good catch. It's hard to tell that John's already going to be there. Only 2 members left of DRX. They swing out together. RB on point still with that ghost. 2v2. Both sides low on health, but it's, oh no, the diffuser will get taken out. The half is done though. RB trying to bait him in. It's not going to be enough. John Cuty's kicking things off with 4 kills in the pistol round.
Wow. IGL for Sentinels getting it done with the gunplay there. Getting some help as well with a nice setup from Zekin with the paint shells on the very first kill. After that, just really doing a good job with his timing, keeping that toxic screen up when it needed to. Wowzers. Great shot there for RB. Mako, when that Mako got that kill, it was looking pretty good, but Sentinels able to get the plant down and really just hunker down inside of U-Haul. Keep themselves pretty well contained. No one really overstepped their bounds. I didn't see anybody really reach out, try to go for a big hero swinger play or anything like that. So the discipline there really good for the Sentinels.
Yeah, they're going to continue with the meta buys here. 1 Phantom, 2 Bulldogs. Marshall for 10. Saucy takes a big hit, but he'll still get that kill. Going to be backing out. Celsius will be able to get healed up. And oh boy, DRX, there was just 1 more than you thought there were. 10's even swinging out as a 3rd option with that Marshall. And Sentinels, they know DRX has to commit to this. They're just going to wait, try to get these kills instead of, showing their backs, but Jess, nice classic plays. Stunned up for now, though. Sentinels not taking any too big risks. They'll wait for the stun full time, and now they just await for that 1 lone last player. Sentinels clearly just being aware that it might have been a 5-man push, even though it's the Cypher. Don't want to take any risks. Now, there are 2 members fairly low, right? So RB could still do some economic damage.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the Sheriff at hand. Has the opportunity to maybe drop 2 more players with the Sentinels on their entry. Let's see if he can get it done.
Yeah, Saucy's going to hold on to that Marshall for that. Try to take the front line, and okay, won't take anyone else out, but 10's also losing a little bit of health and a little bit of armor as well. So, not too much lasting damage, and Sentinels happy to take that 2nd round.
Yeah, and I think, like, looking at the start here for DRX is how are they going to play off the backs of these 2 early push-outs of Long B?
Exactly.
Like, what is the methodology going to be trying to get into the heads of the Sentinels based on that? So this round to me is going to be not the key round necessarily. The round after this, usually the more key round, unless the Sentinels can really do some serious damage on this bonus. John QT, of course, just going to look for the Poison Cloud to cover off the exit, I suppose, of U-Haul, if you're thinking about it from the defender side. And then everybody else just locking down. Everybody now really having to think about those push-outs. And I like what they're doing here, making sure that Showers is covered as well, because that's something that has to be in your mind. Well, they tried B 2 times. Are they thinking about maybe trying to set up some pressure over on the other side of the map as well? But for now, DRX content to just stay put. And I like this toxic screen as well. Cut it through the teleporter so it covers a couple different angles here. Gives a little bit more flexibility side to side for DRX.
The thing is I mean, Sentinels just saw all of that util being used from stacks, so they know that B main's pretty weak for info. Of course, we just see one of the guiding lights coming back off of cooldown. So Sentinels, they were waiting to see, okay, now you don't have any information. Do you continue to try to push out to gain some more map control? DRX going to be stable. They know they have to win this buy round here, even sticking with the half armors to make sure they have a little bit more margin moving forward. They know they need to catch up in the creds. Sentinels, though, they know the Trailblazer has been used. They know the Guiding Light's still on cooldown. They're trying to get jump onto Stacks. The flash in full force. He can't see anything, but Seth is right behind him with a triple kill. Stops the push entirely. And with only 20 seconds on the clock, Sentinels, they don't really have an option.
Yeah, they got to make a push for it. They're at least going to claim the orb there. 410s, get closer to that dimensional draft.
Oh, wow, in your face. I mean, that one's hard to read, all right? It's right in your face. You get a little scared. I don't blame them.
You can't gamble on that. You got to shoot it. But some good coordination there with the Yoru util. You got a flash that set up your first kill onto Stacks. He got completely blinded. Just Zest there, absolutely filthy with it. And on the backside, Zest trying to play up close and personal. And, again, Ten's able to take advantage of that. And he's already got his ult, so...
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, really useful here, especially with Zest being really close potentially to that Viper's pit. The Dimensional Drift, a phenomenal tool to deal with that Viper ult. So curious to see if they're going to try to invest it right away, just try to cycle it. Yep, they are.
Send it right away, and they know that Showers has been weak here for DRX. Maybe something even greater.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you would think, even last year with the pieces they had in place that this should be a really good team, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, and you need to kind of mix things up a little bit. There are a few tweaks that need to be made here and there, and I think we're starting to see the fruits of that, and I think in some ways an even bigger test.
Sentinels, they don't really have an option.
Yeah, they got to make a push for it. They're at least going to claim the orb there. 410s, get closer to that dimensional draft.
Oh, wow, in your face. I mean, that one's hard to read, all right? It's right in your face. You get a little scared. I don't blame them.
You can't gamble on that. You got to shoot it. But some good coordination there with the Yoru util. You got a flash that set up your first kill onto Stacks. He got completely blinded. Just Zest there, absolutely filthy with it. And on the backside, Zest trying to play up close and personal. And, again, Ten's able to take advantage of that. And he's already got his ult, so...
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, really useful here, especially with Zest being really close potentially to that Viper's pit. The Dimensional Drift, a phenomenal tool to deal with that Viper ult. So curious to see if they're going to try to invest it right away, just try to cycle it. Yep,
they are. Send it right away, and they know that Showers has been weak here for DRX. Tens continue to get that confirmation. They find Zest sitting in the middle of the site. However, a lot more utility being thrown out. Sentinels, they don't have to commit to this just yet, but Seconds already crossed the line of attack. And now Saucy also getting stuck in U-Haul. Sentinels, they've been split apart right now. Buzz stopping the push entirely. Pushes them even further back from the one-way on the Poison Cloud. Sentinels, they do hold on to the spike. So they have some options, but no information on the other side of the map. They're choosing. Ooh, crawled back in as Zest continues to watch the entry point.
This is just really clean defense here from DRX. Everybody doing the right things at the right time, and particularly I want to give a big shout out to Mako on that molly that made it so if there was an entry or an exit off of Tenz's ult, it wasn't viable for Sentinels to use that Showers control they gained from the ult itself. One way or another, no matter what, it really was a good counter. Zelsis takes down Zest, and things now maybe getting a little bit spicy for DRX.
Yeah, but Sentinels, they'll still need to pick off the kills. Now Mako is weak. That is one of the options they have. John Cutie just trying to fade out a couple more members. Still 20 seconds on the clock. They have one more option, but Stacks and RB both ready at different angles behind the Poison Cloud. And DRX will tie things up 2-2 in round 4.
And to me, that round is really just DRX having a good read on how to counter kind of the I don't want to say blind ult, but just the off-the-rip ult for the Yoru. They know the Yoru well, right? They have RB play it and champions. They understand kind of the mechanics and the timings and things like that. So immediately as the Yoru ult is about to expire, the mollies come out, the utility comes up, the toxic screen is there, and the Poison Cloud. and everything's just in place for DRX to be prepared for a hit on the back of that ult.
That Guiding Light goes far, not going to catch anyone here in B main. It's just going to be a quick hit with the Stingers in hand from Sentinels. They are not going to stop at anything. Second is crossed. He's already cleared the site, and they find Stacks as well. The fake out from the Guiding Light. Good support coming out from Saucy. The Viper's Pit comes up. And while, yeah, you do have a Neural Theft on the side of DRX, they're going to have to find a kill first. Okay, Buzz trying to make it happen a little bit far out, though.
Yeah, now you got to get to that spot to get the Neural Theft.
The distance was buffed. Yeah, the distance was buffed. RB not going to be able to find that angle for the time being. DRX, they're also worried of a potential flank here. With that Euro, it's always an option. Don't want to take any risks. I mean, you still have the Orbital Strike as well in Zelsis. DRX, I think the best they could have done is maybe draw some of those ultimates. And they're saying, yeah, with the pit there, we don't already have a cross angle. We don't have any way to get information. Just gonna back out. Hold on these rifles, no need to greet it.
Yep, it's the right move here, especially with an Orbital Strike still looming there. As you try to even get in there with the time dwindling that much, you just have no hope of really having the time to get the plant down safely. So good awareness there from DRX at the end, but even better execute here from the Sentinels. The fake flash to get that second kill. The entry there, just very clean. Yeah, they get ahead of DRX even being really prepared to shut it down. Don't even land it really a flash or anything onto Zekken on his way in, and it's a clean first kill for him with that Stinger, so really nice buy up there for the Sentinels. Now you do have the Viper's Pit possessed as well to kind of back things up. I'm curious to see how he's going to use it. Generally, DRX is more patient with those Viper's Pits. They want to kind of wait to control space, but maybe they'll try something a little bit different early on. I was curious if he was just going to let it rip in hookah there to try to cut that off, but no, DRX, they like to use these, you know, when they are more convinced of where you're going to go for your attack with those Viper's Pits.
Yeah, much more of a timing thing for DRX, right? Either you know it's coming, or it's to make sure that you don't have time to rotate out.
Exactly.
So DRX just going to hold on to that high value ultimate for the time being. Buzz getting the early scouting first, and then the spy cam still able to follow through if anyone jumps above or below. All of these smokes from both Vipers happening out. Early Trailblazer coming out from Saucy, just going to keep them tied up here on B main, and Saucy's going to continue to be that fake here for Sentinels as he's drawing the attention of at least one, if not two. But Stacks, so kind of a wide jump, notes that it's just a Sky, so it has a bit of an inkling, already sends Mako rotating back over to A. Will he get here in time for that extra smoke and the molly? I don't think it's going to happen. A tag comes through on the Poison Cloud. More time being spent here for Sentinels. The Orbital Strike is set. They need to get onto the site, but they continue to be stopped by RB with the Phantom. Taking down Zekken, and there's the spray from Buzz. A double kill on both John Cutie and Tens. Sentinels down to 2 members.
The utility beautifully placed from RB. Lighting things up for Buzz over there. Really make his life a little bit easier. They just can't even get the plant down.
10 seconds left.
A few more seconds left.
Now they just want to stick it. Oh, Saucy's going to be able to defend it. The bonus creds are there. Still, Phantoms in hand. The upgrade comes through for Saucy as well. Now DRX, they have all the information on both members. Molly already sent out.
Standing.
They know he's stuck, but Saucy, he's only good for one. And DRX, they will wait for the flames to be put out before they defuse the spike to tie things up once again, 3-3.
Just really tight defense. I like the way they're positioning Buzz to immediately respond off the back of RB's utility. They don't bite on the fake out this time. It comes through. It even gets pinged by RB's utility as well, but they're able to just kind of understand, recognize that, don't really get caught out of place with the ult from the Brimstone. Nobody's in U-Haul to really get punished by that. Again, RB so smart here. Yep, there's that trap wire catching him, and Buzz even spraying down for the second on the 10s because he knew he was in there. Fake out had already been used, so he's understanding that there is another player behind that wall of smoke, most likely. That's really good stuff. I mean, I'm really impressed with the protocols here for DRX.
Yeah, very, very good defense so far. I mean, of course, credit to Sentinels. They still hold on to the 3 points as well after winning the pistol round. They were able to get the early 2 rounds. But now you see the timeout come out, and I think Coach Kaplan's thinking kind of the same thing, right? Pistol, obviously a different setup on both sides. You have the economic advantage in round 2 on the anti-eco. But now, once we've gone through the buy rounds, once you've seen some of these default setups from DRX, you just haven't had an answer on really clearing out and forcing RB into discomfort. He's always been able to sit back, get at least 1 kill if you come to his site, and then he's able to regroup with his teammates. So the question remains on what do you do about these Cypher setups? The fake out, DRX starting to get used to that as well.
Exactly. I think for me, I think there's basically like two different options that I'd be floating. One is just like start hammering B. Just go for that weakness.
Send it.
Just send it. The other is start playing a little bit more methodical, searching out for that utility from RB, clear it once, and then start working the map a little bit. Start rotating around, start playing with the ideas of kind of a bigger picture a little bit sooner. But I like what, I mean, DRX is, I think, recognizing that this could happen. They've moved RB over to B.
Yeah, they want to force him into B as well. They say, don't come to A. It's been shut down. You even have the extra trap wire on A short. You've got the double waiting in showers. And DRX just assuming that if you come B, RB's once again going to get at least one kill. The flash and the fake out. It works, but no! Tens can't find the target through his own clone. And Buzz will be able to swing on it. Gets the kill with the assist coming in from Mako. And with it just being the Euro, DRX has a pretty strong idea. RB still just hiding here in the tube, waiting to find some information. Seekers coming out just to delay as the top of the screen comes back up. The comms are there for DRX today. They are not flip-flopping any longer. Still got the cyber cage as well. So many layers. Counter Seekers coming out. Second, flies over cyber cage, but not finding any good information. Buzz able to take out the opponent. Raze is a trade for trade, but still they're not able to clear out the entire site. Stacks gets stunned up, doesn't have vision, but he's hiding. Oh, the barrel is shown! And Stacks still wins the duel against Zelsis. Saucy, the one man left, can't fight against the entire army of DRX, as DRX will pick up the round after Sentinels' timeout.
Just a beautiful counter call here from Termi. He says, okay, we're going to use that Viper's Pit early to lock down short. Even added it in the trap wire just in case if they try to push it. We're going to move RB over to B. We're going to cover all of our bases. We're going to double stack showers. I mean, they make like every option that you would think that Sentinels might want to try off of their timeout unassailable. Just a really, really smart setup here from DRX.
And these are the times when you hold on to something like that Viper's Pit, right? It really pays off to hold it for that counter timeout. A fast push this time onto showers, but the volley lands on point. Mako, he's been so good with the timing and the placement of that molly. You only get one per round, but it's always finding value. So much impact coming out from the DRX Brimstone.